July 4, 1969. San Francisco, California. 3 major newspapers receive a letter. Same handwriting. Same ink. Same day. The letter starts with the words, "This is the Zodiac speaking." And then he makes a demand. He wants his letter published on the front page. He wants all of San Francisco to read his words. And if they refuse, he promises to go on a killing rampage and kill a dozen more people over the weekend. Think about that for a second. He is not running. He is not hiding. He is not afraid. He is sitting somewhere in San Francisco, writing letters to newspapers, threatening an entire city, and demanding attention. Like a man who believes he cannot be stopped. Because so far, he was right. Nobody saw his face clearly. Nobody caught him. Nobody even knew his real name. And here is the most disturbing part of this entire case: they still don't. 50 years later, he got exactly what he wanted. And the world never forgot his name. The Zodiac Killer. Before we go any further, I need you to understand something about this man. Most serial killers hide. They bury bodies. They move away. They stay silent and pray nobody connects the dots. Not the Zodiac. The Zodiac did the exact opposite. He wrote letters to police. He wrote letters to newspapers. He included pieces of his victims' clothing as proof. He created ciphers, complex coded messages, and dared law enforcement to crack them. He gave himself a name. He built himself a brand. This was not a man who killed in the shadows. This was a man who killed for an audience. And tonight on Crime Meridian, we are going to walk through every move he made. Every letter. Every cipher. Every murder. And the chilling question that nobody has ever been able to answer. Why did he stop, and where did he go? Let me take you back to the beginning. December 20th, 1968. Lake Herman Road, Vallejo, California. A remote 2-lane road on the outskirts of the city. It is late at night. A 17-year-old girl named Betty Lou Jensen and her 16-year-old boyfriend David Faraday are parked in his car. They are on their first date. At around 11 p.m., a car pulls up beside them. A man gets out. He shoots David in the head through the car window. Betty Lou runs. She makes it 30 feet from the car. He shoots her 5 times in the back. She does not survive. They are both dead within minutes. A woman driving past sees the scene and calls police. When officers arrive, there is nothing. No weapon. No witnesses. No motive. Just 2 teenagers on their first date, who never made it home. The case goes cold almost immediately. But the killer is just getting started. July 4th, 1969. Blue Rock Springs Park, Vallejo, California. Just 5 miles from the first crime scene. A young couple, 22-year-old Darlene Farron and 19-year-old Mike Majo, are sitting in a parked car. At around midnight, a car pulls up. A man gets out. He walks toward them with a flashlight. Majo thinks it is a police officer. And then, the shooting starts. Darlene is hit multiple times. Majo is hit in the face, neck, and leg. The gunman walks back to his car. Then stops. Turns around. Walks back. And shoots both of them again. At close range. Like he is making sure. Then he drives away. Darlene dies at the hospital. Majo somehow survives. And what he tells police changes everything. He says the man was heavy-set. Round face. Short curly brown hair. And he was completely calm. Not panicked. Not in a hurry. Just calm. Like this was something he had done before. And here is where this case takes a turn that no one expected. About 40 minutes after the shooting, the Vallejo Police Department receives a phone call. A male voice. Flat. Emotionless. Says, "I want to report a double murder." Gives them the location. Then says, "I also killed those kids last year." And hangs up. He called the police to report his own murders, and then brag about the ones before. This was not a man trying to escape. This was a man trying to be noticed. 1 week later, 3 letters arrive. One to the San Francisco Chronicle, one to the San Francisco Examiner, one to the Vallejo Times-Herald. Each letter contains the same message. A detailed description of the shootings, details only the killer would know. And a cipher. A coded message broken into 3 pieces. 1 piece sent to each newspaper. He demands that all 3 ciphers be printed on the front page the next day. And he threatens, "If you do not print this, I will go on a rampage and kill a dozen people over the weekend." He signs the letter with a symbol. A circle with a cross through it. Like a gun sight. The symbol of the Zodiac. The newspapers print the ciphers. Because what choice do they have? And the world watches as amateur codebreakers and FBI analysts try to crack what this man has written. The cipher is finally solved by a high school teacher and his wife. Not the FBI. Not cryptography experts. A teacher. And what does it say? "I like killing people because it is so much fun. It is more fun than killing wild game in the forest. Because man is the most dangerous animal of all. To kill something gives me the most thrilling experience. It is even better than getting your rocks off with a girl. The best part of it is that when I die, I will be reborn in paradise. And all the people I have killed will become my slaves. I will not give you my name because you will try to slow down or stop my collecting of slaves for my afterlife." He was not confessing out of guilt. He was bragging. He believed he was building an army for his next life. And he wanted everyone to know it. September 27, 1969. Lake Berryessa, Napa County. Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard are college students. They are having a picnic by the lake on a sunny Saturday afternoon. A man approaches them. He is wearing a dark hood over his head. On the front of the hood is the Zodiac symbol. The circle with the cross. He is carrying a gun and a length of rope. He ties them both up. And then, he pulls out a knife. He stabs Brian 8 times. He stabs Cecilia 14 times. Cecilia dies 2 days later in the hospital. Brian somehow survives. Before leaving the scene, the Zodiac does something that makes investigators' blood run cold. He walks to Brian's car door and writes on it with a black marker. He writes the dates of his previous attacks. And then adds, "By knife." In today's date. He was keeping score. In public. On the victim's car. Like he wanted police to find it. Like he wanted them to know how many he had done. October 11th, 1969. San Francisco. A cab driver named Paul Stein picks up a fare in the Tenderloin district. The destination is the Presidio Heights neighborhood. When the cab stops, the passenger shoots Paul Stein once in the head. He takes Paul's wallet. He tears off a piece of Paul's shirt. And he walks away. Children in a nearby house witness the shooting from their window. They call police. Officers in the area are given the wrong description by dispatch. They are told to look for a black male suspect. The Zodiac was white. 2 officers actually pass the killer walking calmly down the street. They stop him. Ask if he saw anything. He points them in the opposite direction. And walks away. They let him go. He was 10 feet from being caught. And he walked away without even running. 3 days later, another letter arrives at the San Francisco Chronicle. Inside is the torn piece of Paul Stein's shirt. Proof. And then the Zodiac writes something that terrifies the entire city. He says he is thinking about shooting the tires out on a school bus. And then picking off the children as they try to escape. The city goes into a state of panic. School buses in San Francisco were given police escorts. Parents kept their children home. An entire city paralyzed by one man, who was never in anyone's custody for a single day. Now here's what the FBI and investigators knew about him, based on witness descriptions and behavioral analysis. White male. Heavy set. Somewhere between 5'8" and 6 feet tall. Wore glasses in some descriptions. Believed to be in his late 20s to mid-30s at the time of the killings. Methodical. Organized. Had some knowledge of cryptography. Possibly had a military or technical background. And here is the thing that investigators kept coming back to. He stopped. The confirmed killings stopped after 1969. But the letters kept coming until 1974. He kept writing. Kept taunting. Kept claiming new murders that could not be confirmed. And then, total silence. No letters. No ciphers. No phone calls. Nothing. Did he die? Did he move to another state and start over? Did he get arrested for something else and is currently in prison right now under a different name? Or is he still out there, in his 80s or 90s, the most successful uncaught serial killer in American history, watching documentaries about himself on television? Nobody knows. And that silence is somehow more disturbing than anything he ever wrote. There's one more thing I need to tell you about. A cipher called the Z340. He sent it in November 1969. 340 characters of coded text. It sat unsolved for 51 years. 51 years. The best cryptographers in the world could not crack it. The FBI could not crack it. Amateur codebreakers spent decades on it. And then in December 2020, a team of 3 private codebreakers cracked it. Using computers. And what did it say? I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner. Because I now have enough slaves to work for me. He was still bragging. From a message written in 1969. Still playing the game. Still demanding attention. Even from beyond the silence. And there is one cipher that has never been solved. To this day. The Z13. 13 characters. Some investigators believe it contains his name. His actual name. Sitting in a coded message that has defeated every expert who has ever looked at it. For over 50 years. His name might be right there. And nobody can read it. I want to be honest with you about something. The Zodiac Killer got what he wanted. He is the most famous unsolved serial killer in American history. More famous than Jack the Ripper in terms of modern search volume. Every documentary. Every podcast. Every YouTube video. Every cipher solver sitting at a computer at 2 in the morning is giving him exactly what he demanded in that first letter. Attention. He was a man who felt invisible. And he chose the most horrific possible way to make the world see him. And it worked. We are still talking about him in 2025. We still do not know his name. We still cannot read his final cipher. He won. And 5 innocent people paid for that with their lives. Betty Lou Jensen. David Faraday. Darlene Ferrin. Cecilia Shepard. Paul Stein. They were not plot points. They were people. With families. With futures. With entire lives ahead of them. And they were taken by a man who wanted to be famous. Their names deserve to be remembered far more than his symbol ever did. The Zodiac Killer case is still officially open. The FBI still accepts tips. The Z13 cipher has never been solved. And somewhere out there is either a man who died with the biggest secret in American true crime history, or a living person who knows exactly who he was. If you know anything, if you have ever heard someone reference these murders in a way that made you uncomfortable, if something does not add up about someone from your past, the FBI tip line is 1-800-CALL-FBI. These 5 families have waited over 50 years. They deserve better than silence. That is going to wrap it up for tonight on Crime Meridian. If this story got into your head the way it got into mine, hit that like button right now. It takes 1 second and it helps this channel reach more people, which means more pressure on cases that still need to be solved. Subscribe if you have not already. New case every single week. And trust me when I say, you do not want to miss what is coming next. Drop a comment right now. Do you think the Zodiac Killer is still alive? And do you think the Z13 cipher contains his real name? I read every single one. Until next time, stay curious. Stay safe. And remember, he wanted attention. Do not let him have the last word. The victims get that. Always.